Okay, sir. நம்ம start பண்ணிடலாம், sir.
Start பண்ணிடலாம், sir.
Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
On behalf of Institute of Engineers Tamil Nadu State Center and Madurai Local Center, jointly we are doing today that biodiversity, that is World Environmental Day. Every year, January 5th, we are celebrating the World Environmental Day. This year, due to the Corona COVID-19, we can't able to do in physically, so we are doing in the online, celebrating the in online. That theme is biodiversity. Today our guest speaker, Professor Dr K Muthuchelian, is readily accepted to give the today speech. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And then welcome once again, the welcome from our Tamil Nadu State Center and Madurai Local Center, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, Madurai Local Center, Narayan Swami, Local Center Secretary, Narayan Swami will introduce our speaker.
Hello.
So kindly take over the Narayan Swami.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Today is the World Environment Day. On respect our Tamil Nadu State Center Chairman, respected our Madurai Local Center Chairman, Mr. Rajagopal sir, our Council Member, Mr. Rajamani sir, and our Chief Guest, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian sir. On behalf of the Madurai Local Center, today we are celebrating World Environment Day, that means June 5th day. Because due to the Corona, we could not do our Environment Day physically as a lecture meeting. Due to that, we are doing on webinar. What is called the biodiversity is our topic that is given from there. So now I am very much glad to introduce our chief guest, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian. He is the formerly Vice Chancellor, Periyar University, Salem, Tamil Nadu. He is a world-renowned biology scientist with more than 30 years of teaching and research experience at a different hierarchical levels, including professor, head, and chairperson, Vice Chancellor, now Pro-Vice Chancellor in Dayananda Sagar University, Bangalore. He obtained his doctorate degree from the School of Biological Sciences, Madurai Kamaraj University, Madurai, India. Post-doctoral research from the University of Ancona, Italy. He has been conferred with the prestigious Doctor of Science, DSc, in recognition of his research accomplishments of biomass research management and technology. He has guided 81 students for research, 4 scholars for postdoctoral research, and 43 candidates have been awarded PhD under his supervision. Sir, welcome to the Biomass, sir, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian, sir.
Thank
now
you,
I
sir.
request our council our chairman, Engineer Rajagopal sir, to say few words regarding the webinar, sir.
Thank you very much. I am very glad to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Muthuchelian, who is known to us for a long period. In fact, he was originally from Madurai only. He was from Madurai Kamaraj University. We are really happy to have him today on this program live on earth. Welcome, Mr. Muthuchelian.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Again, on I request our council member, Dr. Rajamani sir, to say a few words regarding this webinar, sir.
My dear Dr. K Muthuchelian, my brother. So I am very much pleased to have you as a guest speaker today for this wonderful day. When the topic came as biodiversity, I find no other than you for delivering a lecture as a suitable person. So I invited you. Thank you for accepting my invitation and coming over here for the review. Thank you, Muthuchelian.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you. My pleasure.
Sir, Ramdas sir, please take out, sir.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Now our chief guest, today guest, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian, sir. Sir, I am also from Madurai, sir, but I am residing in Chennai, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Nice to hear, sir.
Originally, actually, 1989, I came to Chennai. Before that, I was in Madurai only. My native place is Madurai. Okay, sir. Once again, I welcome today our speaker, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian, sir. Now, kindly take over and then start your.
Ramdas sir, please once, sir. Request our Dr. Aruldas Kandaya to say a few words because he's on line, sir. Please. Aruldas Kandaya, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir.
I'm very happy to be here today with you all in this World Environment Day. As you all know that the World Environment Day is conducted by every year one country, and this year along with Germany, Colombia is conducting it. And we are happy this year we are having at Madurai. And even with the critical situations, our Madurai Center and Tamil Nadu chapter chairman has taken a very correct action so that this cannot be forgotten by engineers especially. And biodiversity is a major subject today we have to talk. Even Corona is corrected with the biodiversity. Corona is really connected with this topic. Therefore, this is the right topic which we have taken today. And I'm very happy to be here. I congratulate the chief guest to come over here and join with us. And also I express my thanks to Tamil Nadu chapter chairman also. And I wish all the best. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Madurai Local Center, sir, request our chairman, Tamil Nadu State Center, Ramdas, to continue this webinar, sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Now, Professor Dr. K Muthuchelian, sir, kindly take over and then share your knowledge and about that biodiversity, all those things, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, with the permission of the chair, can I take 40 minutes?
No problem, sir. 40 to 1 hour, sir.
Okay, sir. 40 minutes we can have it. Then later we can have some discussion or anything.
Okay. Yeah.
We can deliberate, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With your permission.
Okay, sir.
Bye. So happy to see you all through the webinar World Environment Day 2020. Welcome you all, sir. My special thanks to the Institute of Engineers India, Tamil Nadu State Center, and Madurai Local Center for giving me this opportunity to share some of the views related to the biodiversity, which is the theme of the Environment Day today. My heartfelt thanks goes to Engineer R. Ramdas, the Chairman, Tamil Nadu State Center, Engineer P. Gomadi Nayagam, the Honorary Secretary of the Tamil Nadu State Center, my good friend, Engineer Rajagopal, the Chairman of the Madurai Local Center, Engineer Narayana Swamy, the Honorary Secretary of the Madurai Local Center, and my special thanks goes to my brother Engineer Rajamani, the Chief Engineer, and distinguished members of the Institution of the Engineers of India, Tamil Nadu and Madurai Local Center, and the delegates, many friends of mine from Punjab to Kanyakumari are here in the participation, and dear guests and ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to celebrate an important, the World Heritage Day today, the World Environment Day. Normally we used to call as WED. See, we WED with 2020. And before that, just I want to preamble, as mentioned by one of our colleagues here, the talk of the global today is the coronavirus. The coronavirus, we call as the COVID-19, this outbreak is incredibly fast moving, uncertain, and complex, with potentially profound and long-term impacts on a regional and global too. So under this situation, I can say that we are facing a lot of the challenges in the spread of this COVID-19. Of course, we know that, and the scientists of the biotechnologists and medical scientists and all are working still hard, and I mean to find a permanent solution to the compact the issue of the virus we called as the infectious disease, causing a huge to the population. And we are here to find the solution in the form of either a drug to be delivered or a vaccine to be delivered. And scientists are working on that in global level. And picking to all these preamble of this one, I would like to start that all these things are happening now. My special heartfelt appreciations and the compliments goes to all the medical teams who are facing problems and facing what really with the COVID cases, and health and sanitary workers, and then police officials and other staffs, ministerial staffs, including the staff from our Honorable Prime Minister to the Chief Minister of every state. They have been facing this problem, and to find a solution to that. And with this, I think it is a relative to what I mentioned by the one of our colleague here, biodiversity. It is very interesting subject. You can study the nature, you can know the earth, you can understand the living organisms, you can analyze the ecosystem where all the living organisms are persist. You can find the relation between the structure and functions of the ecosystem. Yes, that's why I like it and love it since from my birth onwards. Since from my birth onwards, in quote, I can say that. Why? Because I born and brought up from forest. You know, the reason behind this, my father is a forest officer, and all the credits of what I gained in the scientific arena goes to the dedication of my father, and who is the one who introduced to the field of the forestry science. The otherwise I can say the word, he only taught me the forest. So with these things, and today we are going to talk about the World Environment Day. As we know that the UN Environment Program, we call it the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, annually organizes World Environment Day to encourage worldwide awareness and action for the protection of the whole environment in global level. So it's being celebrated every year on 5th June. More than 100 countries the same day. This year, the theme of the World Environment Day is the celebrate biodiversity. Celebrate biodiversity. So the India is celebrating now today. What is the main objective of this celebrate biodiversity is celebrated every year. We know that mainly to spread the awareness and to remind the people that they have a role to play in preventing the loss of the biodiversity and preserving our nature and natural resources, that is for the future. That's why always in quote I used to say that nature for future. So there is a bear in mind for that. So now, as I mentioned, due to this, the unexpected of this situation now, as I mentioned, the COVID, normally every year we used to meet in a place, in a country, to celebrate and discuss and to deliberate about the issues related to the biodiversity. Normally it should be happen in October 2020, but due to this, the current crisis, it will be rescheduled for 2021 of this pandemic, the problem. So now, why you may think of that, why it has been loved by me? Because I have a constant and my dedication since from the birth time, I have been concentrating more on the biodiversity on that. I have more than 30 years of my experience, I can say that in the field of biodiversity, I contributed a lot to the regional, I can say the regional or the local, and then to the national, not only national and then also global level. I have been working on the issues related to the biodiversity, in which I am taking a major role in the United Nations organization, in which I have been taking part of the IUCN, we call as the International Union for Conservation of the Natural Resources. I'm taking part from the Indian, the representative to this UNO delegation, and every year we are meeting, and then we have been discussing a lot about the issues related to the biodiversity, and I have been working on that. Today, I am very proud to say that many books, I can say that I have released and I have authored many books. Out of that, to prestigious, I can say that one book, and in fact, 3 books were released by our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I think you could see this in the picture, that the release of the plant biodiversity perspectives. And the second book, which I released through the hands of the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, related to the animal biodiversity, is the glimpses I released. And third one book, which I released by our Honorable, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Rosaya Garu. And in fact, the book releasing function was being held at Raj Bhavan in 2012, almost 8 years before the book was released. And a lot of the dignitaries are here. You could see that the one forest officer and 2 vice chancellors along with me were there in the Raj Bhavan, and we released the book of the biodiversity in Tamil, in the vernacular Tamil language. And for the above contributions, I received Best Book Award for the biodiversity, which I wrote which I authored in the Tamil. I think you could see that the best Tamil book awarded for the science from the state of the Tamil Nadu. And another book, also the same of the title, in biodiversity, has been authored by me, was again consequently in the second year also, I've been awarded by the state of the government with a citation and cash award. And third book, which I written about the national bird, the peacock biodiversity, which also have been got very recently last year, the best book award by the World Tamil Organization. For that, I think you could see that our good friend of ISRO scientist, Mailsami Madurai, has given the citation and the cash prize for the award of this one. And altogether, you could see that the variety of the books which have been authored by me, as I mentioned, the plant, animal, conservation, including the other one, which I could say that the informatics about the barcoding, benefit sharing in the biodiversity, and then genetically modified organisms, how safety can be utilized in the environment with related to the biodiversity. And 2 volumes of the forest biodiversity has been authored by me, and also the forest biodiversity general, the status. And then down you can see the 2 books have been written in Tamil vernacular. Both books have been awarded by the state government for the best book. So I have contributions of more than 18 books in the biodiversity, which is related to the conservation, management, and biosafety altogether. So with this knowledge, I think I would like to say a few about what is meant by the biodiversity. The biodiversity is the word derived from the biological, the diversity, we can say that, and it pertains to the variety of the animals, plants, including human being, microorganisms, and ecosystem in a region, in a country, in a continent, or in the entire globe. So all together, which constitute, we call as the biological diversity. And later, this biological diversity has been short and even been streamed into a word called biodiversity, which was by the Walter G. Rosen in 1985. So here, the biodiversity comprises every form of life. That means from the tiniest microbe. Tiniest microbe means from bacteria or virus. From that, the biggest today, I can say that the biggest one is the banyan tree in the plant, or animal, we can say that the elephant. So all together, all forms of this will come under the biodiversity. So all these species existence can be, estimated. Biodiversity is very difficult. So far, no one has given the correct accountability of the how much plants, animals, and microorganisms are in the globe. I think it is a very, painstaking effect. It will require many days to count for that. But even then, and it's a hypothetical way that all these living organisms, which are only a number, we can say that is number, it may be from 5 and 50 million or more, but we don't know exactly how much it's there in all the composition of the biodiversity resources in the global level. Out of that, so far, out of the 5 to 50 million, so far only 1.4 million have been described. So far described. Out of that, 7.5 lakhs, that is meaning 7,50,000 are insects, and then 40,000 are invertebrates, and 2,50,000 are plants, 3,60,000 pertain to the microorganisms. Again, these are only the numbers which have been counted, have been accounted by the IUCN. But the whole number, I can say that it is still no one has been identified how much. As I mentioned, from 5 to 50 millions. So here, most of all the plants, animals, insects are all been described, and so far, but still we have the undescribed species. Still undescribed species, still in the rainforest we can account. And here, there are 3 ways that normally we used to study the biodiversity. One at the genetic levels, and another at the species level, and third as the ecosystem level. So number 1 is the genetic, the diversity. So here the variation, how the variation persists in the genes within a particular species will cause, as the genetic diversity. So it differs from the other in its hereditary constitution, from the generation to generation, or the genetic information contained in its genes. So it is called the study of the whole thing related to the genes, and the related work has been within the species is called the genetic diversity. And second one is the species diversity. Species diversity, which normally refers to the variety and variability of the living organisms on the earth. So here, where it differs at the level. So species differ from one another markedly in the genetic makeup, and do not interbreed in the nature. That type of the study is called as the species diversity. And you can see that both the pictures, almost the human and chimpanzees have identical of the 98.4% of the same genus. Only the difference is the 1.6%. You can see that. I think you can see the both of them, almost looking similar in the gene level. And third one, the study which is related to the ecosystem. That means the study on the variability of the various habitats. So this refers to the variety of the habitats. So habitat, it means what? Is the sum of the total of the climate variation with reference to that, and then vegetation and geography of a region, that all together which emphasize the ecosystem diversity. You can see that the diversity here, ecosystem. Number 1, the temperate ecosystem. The example is the Himalayan region. And then you can see the Thar, the desert ecosystem. And third one is the forest or any other ecosystem. So this means the ecosystem has the variety of the climate, vegetation, and geography of the region we studies. So the variety or the diversity of the species in ecosystem is normally influenced by the ecosystem where the species exist. So here, mainly the geographical changes within an ecosystem that leads to the diversity, that leads to the genetic diversity or diversity within the same species. The best example set, you can see that Himalayan Tahr. You can see that in the Eastern Himalayas, you could species one, you can see that in the Himalayan Tahr with a lot of hair, fur, everything. The same species which have been habited in the southern Western Ghats, you get that without the hair. So both are almost the same. So here only the ecosystem which determines the existence and the variable. So this is one we say that the variability with reference to the ecosystems. So next is the megadiverse. So based on the we can say dynamism and the species level, their numbers, and then frequency, dominance, etc. Based on that, 17 countries in the global level lying partly or entirely almost in the tropical region, having more than 60 to 70% of the world biodiversity resources, and we call it as the mega diverse nations. When you say that, or not all the countries, only 17 countries have been identified with reference to the species richness and called as the mega diverse nations. So mainly here, the species richness, or we can say that other word diversity, mostly is high in the tropics, the tropical region like India, and also some part in the cold depth of the ocean related to that. So when we compare to the 17 mega diverse nations, it starts from the Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Mexico, Zaire, Madagascar, Australia, China, India, Indonesia, Philippines, South Africa, United States, Venezuela, Papua New Guinea, and Malaysia. So these are the 17 countries have been recognized and conferred that it is a mega diverse because of the richness of the flora, we call it as the plants and fauna, animals, and then microorganisms. So you could see that in the picture, you can see that mostly all the hotspots are within the range of the tropical and subtropical regions, including in India, we have the Western Ghats and then Eastern Ghats and Himalayan regions, which are almost has been occupied in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. So with reference to the 17 countries, I can mention that there are some of the countries which I mentioned how much we have in terms of the mammals, in terms of the birds, in terms of the reptiles, in terms of the amphibians, in terms of the higher plants. Altogether, the number have been so far accounted by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, we call it as the IUCN, in which I am taking part for the Southeast region. So here, India is one of the richest nations. Why? I'm telling you back. So here, what favors mainly the subtropical and subtropical latitudes with their inherent wealth of the life is the main reason. So in addition to that, India, we have one more. Why we have proclaimed that is one of the mega diverse? Because we have a long coastline in the edge of the deserts, and then we have very good islands having the richness of the plants, animals, etc. in Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, of their own endemic species which are confined to only particular islands, and then mountain ranges, Himalaya, the Western Ghats, the Eastern Ghats. So all these factors which I mentioned that which makes and boon to India that we claim that one of the mega diverse nations of the world. So come to the point of the biodiversity in India. So I think this is the recent the statistics of how much we have, the mammals, and then birds, reptiles, amphibians, and freshwater fish. So these are the number of the Indian species we have: 386 mammals, 1,219 birds. That means the varieties, species levels, and reptiles 495, amphibians 207, freshwater 700. So I think out of that, some percentage of the Indian species are being evaluated from the total. And again, I would like to say that not all, it's all there in the number, but some species are in the threatened. It is threatened in the level. For example, out of the 386, 41% of the total are threatened. Birds, 7%. Reptiles, 46. Amphibians, 57. Freshwater, 70%. So these are the status of all the animal system here. Next, I think I can mention earlier that the Eastern Himalaya and Western Ghats are one of the world 25 hotspots. Again, inside the mega diverse, we have a richness of the species both in the Western Ghats and in the Eastern Ghats. So the third most significant area of the biodiversity in India is the island ecosystem. In addition to that, of the two forest ecosystem, we have the island ecosystem, Andaman Nicobar, where also we have a high species with reference to fish, plants, animals, including mammals, etc., and then coral reef also. So come to the plants, the forest. So according to the champion, India is one of the, I believe you can say that is a global level. We can say that even we can compare to the Amazon forest, etc. We have the maximum almost 16 major forest types. No other country they can say that or the such a wealth of the forest here. And then we have the minor forest 221. No country in the world. So the total area of the forest area is nearly 75.18 million hectares in India. So we have in this forest area, million hectare area, we have 45,000 plant species. No one else. Out of the 45,000, I can say that mostly more than 8,000 plants are the medicinal value. All that. And then flowering plants, 15,000. Gymnosperms, 64. Fern, 1,022. Bryophytes. So these are the lower forms of the plants. You can see that. So we have a variety of the plants here in India, almost more than equal to the 45,000 plants. So among the plants, higher plants, I think we have nearly 2,250 genera. And out of that, 60 families are monotypic only in India. And 131 families are which are very primitive. That means the first formed the plants are including some of the family names I mentioned here in botanical way. It's all only in India. So in this, out of the 15,000, in Western Ghats itself, we have 4,000 species. Western Ghats itself have the 4,000 species a day. The higher plants have been recorded and the families are all mentioned here. And then families with high endemism. There are some plants or family which are, confined to only in the Western Ghats regions. You could see that there are 8 family of nearly, we can have more than some 2,000 species are, accountable in this area of endemic plants in the Western Ghats. So the Western Ghats biodiversity, as I mentioned, is one of the 25 mega biodiversity centers of the world. Starts from the Gujarat north and ends with the Kanyakumari, and the length of 1,600 kilometers and an area of nearly 160,000 square kilometers. And we have the highest peak or in Tamil Nadu, there is the Anamudi, nearly 2,700 at sea level, MSL level. And the Western Ghats have here 40 kilometers of the wide gap separating the Nilgiris and Annamalais we have. And then of course we have here different peaks, Kurk 1,500, Nilgiris 2,400, Annamalais 2,300, Palani Hills 2,350 where Kodaikanal is situated. And then in Agastyamalai Hills we have nearly 1,700 meters levels. So we have all, as I mentioned, 4,000 plants have been occupied in our regions, in all the plants. Even we could see that the Nilgiris are having high in terms of the species richness, 3,500, Annamalais 1,800 species of the plants, Palani we have 2,378, and then Agastyamalai nearly 2,000 species. And in addition to that, we have some of the plants which are endemic to only a particular area. Here I would like to mention that in South Agastyamalai biosphere, now has been declared as a biosphere reserve. There we have more than 189 endemic plants, no other part of the world. So here 75% of the endemics are confirmed in the Western Ghats region, and not only higher plants, trees, etc., shrubs, and then herbs. In addition to that, we have the lower forms of the ferns are all here. So no wonder that we have also have a different types of the forest inside the Western Ghats. We have the variety. We have shrub jungle, dry deciduous, moist deciduous, wet evergreen, chola forest, and including the grasslands in various batches. So such a wonderful diversity of the forests are here in India, I could say that. But all together, what I mentioned, that the richness, the diversity, the dominance, the frequency, everything have been more and more. Here I can say that. But all together, the forest area now has been slowly is depleting. The area is, I think, is decreasing. During early periods of the independence in the 1940s, out of the total geographical area, we had nearly 33% as forest, as original forest, the forest which brings rain to India. Now the 33% of the original forest, now almost we crossed of the 2020, we have only 23%. 23%. 10% of the forest has been already gone because of various reasons. But even though we have been trying with various levels of the revegetation, afforestation, etc., but again, it's still hard to reach that original of the 33%. We have been striving for that. But again, all these 23% what we have now, among the 23, only 10% of the forest can be able to bring the good rain through the monsoon. So this is that's why every year the monsoon in the Western Ghats region belong to the Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and parts of the Maharashtra, Karnataka, no, having the rainfall pattern is every year it changing because of these reasons. So mainly the biodiversity, I can say that in loss. What is the loss of the here? Altogether, we can say that overexploitation and ignorance. Mainly, I can say that who is the culprit? The human. He is the culprit now has been all because of this exploitation of this, the forest cover and depleting every year, and altogether which addressed to be the biodiversity loss. So the loss of the biodiversity is here. What we used to compare that is a threat to the civilization. Is the livelihood of the people who have been inhabiting in Indian context. So, and then wow, we are comparing all these laws of the biodiversity almost is equal to the thermonuclear war. It's an atomic war, like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We even comparing that. So all other environmental problems like pollution, global warming, and ozone depletion, all have been now, we can overcome. We can do that. We can go to very near that and then we can hold. Even now the COVID conditions now, the lot of the pollution loads have been now decreased. And we could see that a lot of the plants, animals all now coming close to that. We can see that, but not the erosion of the biodiversity are these. So I think the major cause of the biodiversity loss, I think, is habitat, which are all essential for the survival of the species, is destroyed, or particular species are destroyed. Altogether, it's a great for the economical, mainly for the exploitation for the economical gain and hunted for sport. You could see that both, all hunting and mainly for the test they have been, they are doing for the hunting. See that one statistics telling that the African elephants have been drastically declined for mainly for the tests. I will tell you the number in the next slides. So again, the lions and tigers are being hunted for the sport, and mainly for the skin, and then teeth and the claws. And then tudo, a native bird of the Marquess, was exploited only for the flesh. So the habitat was completely destroyed and thus become extinct. You could see that in the conveyor of the airport, you could see that all the animal skins have been exported from India. You could see that it's all, exporting to the other countries. So altogether, what finally it leads to the extinction. The extinction was lost due to the environmental factors, factors like the ecological substitutions, biological factors, and pathological causes. So I will come to the point of the pathological in the slides later. And altogether, in addition to the man-made causes, we have also the natural causes, the flooding, the earthquake, the landslides, and then even for the natural competition between the species, the lack of pollination. And also very recently we heard in the 10 years before also, we had a tsunami. That also, leads to a lot of the loss of the biodiversity either in the terrestrial or aquatic, wherever we have. And here, the loss of biodiversity, according to the United Nations Environment Program, nearly 16 to 20 million hectares of the tropical forests are being burnt. Almost we burnt already. And it has been cut every year for meeting the requirements for what? Mainly for the human need as food, fodder, and fuel for the growing human and for the livestock population. So what they are projected is the deforestation in the tropics is much faster than any other parts of the world, and which is equal to almost 21.5 hectares per minute at the rate of the deforestation. So this is the rate they calculated. In Indian context, nearly 1.5 million hectares of all the prime forests were all felled before 1980. After our forest policy, late after 1980, because the law is enforced, and that we saved some part of the percentage level of the forest cover. So again, next is the pollution. The pollution is also a gift of the industrial revolution that also has a lot of the serious loss of the biodiversity, either in the marine, very near to the coastal areas of the species, and then also either in the marine organisms or near to the forest area, and then also the other terrestrial ecosystems. So altogether, we have a series of problems because of the pollution levels. Even this topic itself, we can debate for a day of how it causes to the biodiversity loss. And in addition to that, the technology, the motor cars, the air conditioners, the refrigerators, and a lot of the technology oriented also have a serious impact on the climate, and which also have a effect on the various species levels in the ecosystem. As I mentioned, the factories, many factories and power stations which are situated very near to the coastal areas, which also has the problem because of the dusting of either the ash or the other the problems related to the effluents, which has a serious problem for the death and the cost for the many of the aquatic plants. And then oil spillage, even during the transport of the oils from the Arabic countries to here, and during the offloading and then unloading, also having a spillover and discharge, and later this also have a serious problem in addition to the natural cause. And the large number of the species now have been overhunting, poaching, and illegal trade. And as I mentioned, in the Africa, during 1980s, there is 79, almost they have 1.3 million elephants. 1.3 million elephants they have. Now they have only 65,000. So almost lost. The same thing also in Indian context also. I would say that every week we could see that one animal of either the elephant or the cheetah or the panther or the tiger, we are losing in the nearby forest area because of the various reasons. We could see in the media, and then also in the press media. So in addition to that, the indiscriminate use of the toxic chemicals, pesticides, and then altogether a serious problem. And I could say that the pesticides and chemicals, a lot of I have also witnessed, and physically in various estate area also, they have been using for eradicate the pest and disease in the plantation crops for the tea, coffee, cardamom, and so on. They are using the indiscriminate way that they are using and spraying the chemicals, and ultimately it leads to the water, and then to the stream, and then to the river, and finally it reaches to the human. So whole thing is the food chain is disturbed because of the chemicals and pesticides used in the forest area. And then, as I mentioned, the tiger is hunted for its claw and then other parts. And then you won't believe that snakes and crocodile skin also has been exported to other countries. You could see that all the skin, minks, and then ermine. So almost it's all in the demand for the Western countries. You could see that one of the guitar is completely has been made of the snake skin. And then you can see that the crocodile bench in US. So we have a lot of the natural man-made causes of the biodiversity. As mentioned by our colleague here, the infectious disease. So the corona. So the infectious diseases, like how it has the impact on the biodiversity. How I think it is an interlinked way I could see that. And the human activities, as you mentioned, again, the human activities are disturbing both the structure and functions of the ecosystem, and almost in altering the native biodiversity, plants, animals, etc. So here the disturbances reduce the abundance of the, as I mentioned, of the population, the growth, and it almost changes the modify the interaction between the organisms. Either it is microbes, beneficial microbes, or the plants or the animals. So it way in which they have been almost the physical and the chemical, the environment has been changed because of the disturbances. So in related to that, the patterns of the infectious diseases are very sensitive to these disturbances. It may cause. So it related here to biodiversity. And major processes are affecting infections, infectious diseases, reservoirs, and transmission, which includes number one, the deforestation. It has serious impacts. And then water management through the dam construction and etc. Then irrigation, then uncontrolled urbanization and then urban sprawl. Then resistance to the pesticide chemicals used to control certain disease vector, which I mentioned. The climate variability and change. And then migration and international travel and trade. Then accidental and intentional human induction of the pathogens. Introduction of the pathogens. So these are all the very serious cases in relation to the biodiversity and infectious. How now exactly does the biodiversity loss with reference to the land use change cause an increase in the zoonotic? That is a COVID-19. It's one of the kind of the zoonotic diseases. So there are at least three mechanisms at play in between these relation. Number one is the increased encroachment in the ecosystem. That has a mechanism. Number two, the selection of the wildlife species which are mostly able to infect human and or their livestock. It may happen. And then pathogens. So pathogens are being carried by these surviving wildlife species in the area of the forest or nearby area in simplified ecosystem, and pathogens tend to be diluted. So today, what's a serious problem? Today, 7.8 million humans exploit each and every ecosystem of the planet as a whole. Out of that, 4.7 million, billion cattle, pigs, sheep, and goats we are using. And then 23.7 billion chickens on the earth we are using. So what? So we live on the what? A cultivated planet. The term we call it the cultivated planet with new species assemblances and new opportunities for the pathogens to move from, because of the various reasons, from one species to another. That's why there is a one school of thought, they're saying that the bats are the carriers of the coronavirus, but no evidence at all. But still, there are some views that even someone has viewed that the bird flu virus, SARS virus, and so many things are related to all of this type of the related varieties of the species of the COVID-19 has a relation with the biodiversity. So almost these losses, because of the various reasons, every year, as an IUCN member of the Southeast nation, I have been estimating that how many loss in the extinction. What is the present rate of the extinction of the species? Nearly 9 lakh vertebrate species have become extinct every 1 million years during the last 200 million years. It's an arithmetic calculation. That means roughly 19 species every century, every 100 years. So here, higher plants, the trees, one species has become extinct every 27 years. It disappeared. And 75% of the birds and mammals that have become extinct in recent years, including also now because of, I think we have been also seeing in many media, press and etc. of the sparrow. I think we have been seeing that how it been, and slowly it has been extinct now because of the technology, etc., the towers and all these things. So here the loss of the single species is a tragedy. So each form of the life is a, I can say that it is a storehouse of the irreplaceable genetic resources. So here extinction is we know that it is a reversible process. When a species becomes extinct, it sets off a cascade of the extinctions. So a lot. So the world biodiversity, I can say that what I mentioned of the 5 to 50 million is all only in the the number in the text. But what is the real? We know that. We don't know that. So the world biodiversity under great risk of the extinction in the next 20 to 30 years. One species has become extinct every 4 years between 1600 and 1900 AD. In the last 400 years of that, almost 120 species of mammals have been lost. I think they will come soon. I think we will bring our grandchildren to the museum or people meeting places, and we can show that this is the elephant, this is the lion, this is the tiger we lived earlier. This situation may come, right, that we can see only as a museum in the places where the people used to meet or in the park. So that situation will come very soon if the red goes along in the alarming way of the extinction. That's why the IUCN categories they thread. They have been counting. We have been counting every year. What is the status of the level of the extinction? So all the plants and animal species are in a state of the dynamic equilibrium. According to Darwin's theory, I think it's a natural balance in everything. So there is evolutionary changes in time and space. Everything has been taken under natural conditions. And now, because of the various reasons like earthquake, flood, forest fires, and also because of the human, all those things, now many plants, animals have been categorized in this way. Extinction, how? Yeah, number one is the normal. For example, they have certain plants, animals, species are normal. It means those species whose population levels are considered to be normal for their survival, we call as a normal. And then second status, some species are vulnerable. That means those species whose population has declined to a level from where it is likely to move into the endangered category in the near future. For example, the blue sheep, you can see that, the first one, blue sheep, then Asiatic elephant, the Gangetic dolphin, which are all, I think again, we are going to that, will be moved into the endangered category of that. And then rare. There are some plants or some animals, mammals, etc., will become soon as a rare category. That means they will be neither endangered nor vulnerable, but at the rate of considerable risk. So these species may move into the endangered or vulnerable category if the negative factors affecting them to continue to operate. For example, the Asiatic cheetah, which is supposed to be the fastest runner among the animal, which will, I think, soon will be rare. And then pink-headed duck or tudo. So this is only occupied in the Andaman Nicobar. I think this will be soon become rare. So similar way, endemic. So I think these are the one which are confined to only particular area, particular ecosystem, particular forest, and particular, we can say, subtropical region. So these species which can occur only in a restricted area, usually isolated by the natural geographical barriers, where they cannot move anywhere. For example, Andaman Teal, the first one, and then the Nicobar PGR, and third one is Andaman white. So these are the one which are having endemic only to the particular area that they cannot move. And again, these are also under considerable risk because of the human intervention. So we calculated how many species are threatened. Nearly 16,119 species are threatened with extinction. Out of that, we can say that even 1.5 or 5, so on. Animals, 7,725. Plants, 8,000 nearly. And then other groups of plants, I can say that birds, 12%, or 1 in 8. Mammals, 1 in 4. Amphibians, which can thrive both in the aquatic and terrestrial, 1 in 3. Turtles and tortoise, 42%. And you could see that in the media every week. We could see that a lot of the tortoise and turtles are, star tortoise, turtles are exported from our coastal regions to the other countries. You could see all in the airports. And then conifers, plants, beautiful plants, the needle type of the plants, 1 in 4. And then cycad, 52%. So I think we accounted that many species are become now threatened. And then altogether, again, everything has been mentioned how many percentage, all these things. So not only that, animals also. So wildlife also have been in danger because of the what? The problems related to the human, and ultimately all these wild species will alter your food chain. Almost it upsetting the delicate balance between the predator and the prey. You could see that and all the countries have been, how much they are spending crores of money, millions of money for safeguarding in the Arctic regions. And then you can see that the bullfrogs, this one. So almost we have been working on a lot on that regions, and plants also in the danger. You could see that these are the plants. So almost 10% of the world, the vascular plants have been totally in the degrees of the threat. So based on all these problems and realizing the situation, and Indian government, we started working on that, how to save our biodiversity of the resources in the Himalaya, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, including the aquatic ecosystem like Andaman, Nicobar and so on, and marine ecosystem. Altogether, we worked on that. We have to save all the valuable species of the plants, animals, etc., of their the richness to be saved. And then we wanted to make it as a special provision. We made it, and then the total area where we have the richness of the certain animals, certain species have been protected from the human intervention, and that is the genesis of the biosphere resource. So in India, we have nearly 11 biosphere resource area, and almost we protected those areas. For example, the Nilgiri biosphere, where we have the states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka in the Western Ghats regions. We have proclaimed the area of the total forest as the new biosphere reserve. We call it the Nilgiri in 2000, and then Gulf of Mannar, very near to our Rameshwaram, and then Gulf of Mannar is biospheres have been almost even proclaimed, declared as the biosphere reserve in 2001. Similar way, so far we have 11 biosphere reserves we have in India, and we protected all those areas the biosphere resource for saving or the protecting or conserving the species of the both plants and animals. And again, I would like to say proudly here, I have also taken part in this committee in the Ministry of Environment and Forest. We call as the MAP, Man and Biosphere Program, for proclaiming of these or the declaring of these biosphere reserves by the UNESCO. I have taken part, and I have given my input for all in the meetings. So this is one of the biosphere reserves we have, and almost in addition to that, Tamil Nadu has 3 biosphere reserves. One is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, and second is the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, and the 10th one is the Agastya Malay Biosphere Reserve, which are 2016 have been declared. So in addition to that, we have all the states, West Bengal, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Andaman Nicobar, and then Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala and Sikkim. All the states, almost all the states have been now having their own the territory of the biosphere resource for the conservation of the biodiversity resource. So these are the area how much we have in the biodiversity resource we mentioned. So one, I would like to say that Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, as I mentioned, it was declared by the UNESCO, which is one of the tropical terrestrial environment, and the total area where occupied by Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka has been given. So altogether, so mainly here to conserve the species of the most valuable one of the in the area, and then plants, animals and etc. in various the subforest region of this the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. And then, as I mentioned, the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere. So we have at Rameshwaram, and the center is at the Ramanathapuram, and the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve we call the Compart, and which has been declared in the 1989. The reserve forest, which has a total area of nearly 10,500 square kilometers. Having the nearly 27 islands in this region, mainly to here protect the the resources of the biodiversity here, mainly the coral reefs, and then a lot of the ornamental fishes, etc. So next, the conservation. We know that how much in number, we know what is the status and how much we have, how many species are threatened, how many species are extinct, and the level rare species, etc. And then also we have said that we have taken initiative through the various agencies, etc. But what action really need to conserve our biodiversity resources here to mainly conserve? Conservation, which leads to the essential of the ecological diversity to preserve for the welfare, as I mentioned, for the future, food chains. So the lot of the international moves are now in focus. Just for example, I mentioned here, these are the various, the initial during the 1990s, they've taken serious steps to conserve the biodiversity conservation aspects as a global level, we have mentioned. And still we have been following one of the Earth Summit, the Agenda 21, have been working on that. And again, every year we are meeting, and then we are taking actions against the conservation of the biodiversity resources in the entire global level. So there are two aspects of the biodiversity resources. One is the ex situ, the name called the ex situ. It means outside the areas. That means outside the forest area, how we can do possible way to conserve the resources, our biodiversity. Here we can bring the animal or plant habitat where it has become extinct, I mean, in the original area. Bringing here, we can save, or we can conserve, or we can protect, and then we can save with conservation. So here a lot of things are there. One is the seed banks, the botanical gardens, horticultural gardens, recreational gardens, and then all we have now zoo, everything this comes under the ex situ, the conservation. And the in situ conservation, as I mentioned, this is also in the natural habitat itself, we can conserve. We call it as the terminology national park and sanctuaries we have. And then we call it as the biosphere resource, as I mentioned. This is one of the action plan taken by the government. And the natural resource we have. And then we have the reserved and protected forest, and then preservation plots, and then reserve forest. So almost we have, I mean, a lot of the conservative initiatives we have taken to conserve that one, and realizing the problem of our basmati rice, then our neem, and then also the manjal, the turmeric, and all these problems came of the IPR issues. Then also we think of the third one, conservation, which are related to the agro biodiversity conservation. This is also how to conserve not only the forest related one, and then also we have to conserve the cultivated crops of having the natural wealth of our country. And also comes under this category we call as the agro biodiversity conservation. Here also we are conserving through the botanical gardens, through the agriculture department, seed banks, which are having the responsibility for the agro biodiversity conservation. And I think ICR is taking a lead role in the conservation of the agro biodiversity issues. So what biodiversity action plan? What as an individual, what as a community, us as a whole, what we can take for the conservation issues and action plan. So what we required is the number one, strengthen and enhance what the role of the botanical, herbal, and home gardens, wherever for the conservation of the existing plant collections. Here we can do it. So every individual, every collective, every NGO, we can do it. And then consolidate and increase and update of the knowledge on the ecosystem and the plants, either plants or animals. And strengthen and support of the community conservation are the areas, including the sacred sites. So originally, traditionally, we have a lot of the temple lands. Once it has been declared as the sacred groves areas. Normally, the sacred groves have the trees which are having a uniqueness of that one. And mostly the elderly person used to go there and then sit, and they used to have the chat, and then also having the breath of the good air inside the sacred areas. We call it sacred groves. In those days, we have every temple must have a sacred groves. That is the purpose. Even now, every temple have a sacred tree now, a sacred tree we have. So, and then conserve, threaten all the endemic species of the which needs for the conservation significance, and then tackle the non-utilization threats to the natural ecosystem, strengthen all, it is a government role, strengthen and enhance the role of the zoological parks, aquarium, and also the wild animal breeding facilities that are within. So what we take all those things based on that. Earlier, I think before, 1990, we don't have the awareness. That's why the forest department has brought a lot of the initiatives to conserve the forest areas, etc. And with the involvement of the local, the tribals, indigenous knowledge people, all that. So I think this is one we have taken a lead among, with the help of the forest department in the Western Ghats. We took a lot of initiatives, and then with the help of them, we did some conservative effects there. And altogether, I think not only that, we need a lot to conserve for the forest resources, mainly the biodiversity resources. Earlier, we don't have what? Because of the lack of education, the training and awareness, and the education about the complex biodiversity issues we don't know. It's also one of the, earlier it was a biggest stumbling block to conserve sustainable use and achievement of the what we heard earlier. And now I think almost everyone get know the knowledge of the biodiversity and related issues, because now the children, even the school going children, knows about the biodiversity, the forest wealth, and the conservation issues, etc. I think now this is the time to again rethink of that one. We can inculcate the importance of the biodiversity conservation from the child onwards. So this is one of the slides where we have taken a role in the biodiversity conservation among the tribals of the Virudhunagar district, very near to the Thanipara region, one of the tribal health area. We did a lot of work on the conservation, the measures in that area. So again, what we require, not only the government or the institutions like colleges, universities can take a lead in the conservation issues. I think here the NGOs, the public organization can also take a role in strengthening the biodiversity conservation issues. For this, that can be enhanced the biodiversity related education in the formal education system or in the college level, or strengthen the non-formal. That is more important. Non-formal education on biodiversity, and including through the folk, media, and so on. And then what we require is the build capacity of the scientists and the other academics related to the biodiversity. So we know we have, I think, Indian government, even all the federal governments, we know that the policies and legal measures, and we know that, but the law and force has to be enforced in a thrust way, that implement forest and wetland policy. We have to take care of that one. And then we have to implement the marine area policy. We have to do, and not only that, we have also to implement a national, that one we are focusing is the urban biodiversity, national urban biodiversity policy also. I think we have taken a lot of initiatives here. So we not only for the forest area or adjacent forest area or the agro biodiversity area, we have to consider in the cities also, in the cities and towns also, we have to consider for the implementation of the biodiversity and related issues for the wealth and health of the people. And we have to work on realizing all these. Now the Indian government has a separate authority for the conservation of the biodiversity resources, realizing the problem of what I mentioned about the basmati. As I think we fought like anything in the international court, and then neem, and then turmeric, and all that, realizing all this situation. And the Minister of Environment and Forest, developed a separate authority, we call it the National Biodiversity Authority, was established in Chennai, and during 2003 by the central government. So mainly to implement the Biological Diversity Act of the 2002. So here we called as the NBA. The NBA is a statutory body, and it brings for the advisory function of the conservation, sustainable use of the biological resource, and also the fair, equitable sharing of the benefits and use. So that we have been doing of that and realizing all these things. Now in every state, they have been implementing the State Biodiversity Board, we call it as the SBB. Under the State Biodiversity Board of the state, they have constituted village level committee, we call it the Village Forest Council, and all these have been now become a statutory body of the biodiversity. And the main role is I think they can promote the conservation and also for using of the sustainable way. And not only that, they can also document. They can also document of their own resources, what they have in and around their villages. So they can document it, because it will not be later, it will not be a conflict that if you have an IPR issue of that one. If you have a document of all the resources documented and they have been protected for that, and later we can have a royalty if suppose the resources of the biodiversity have been utilized by either our own country or the other one of the other foreign countries. So even now sending of exporting or even for sending of any soil sample or for identification of any plant, animal, insect species, now I think it has been routed. It should be routed through the National Biodiversity Authority. We cannot. So individually we cannot send anything for even just for the identification, including the microorganism. So that a statutory conservation aspect has been taken by the National Biodiversity Authority here, and they have been taking a lot of initiatives through this. And all together, the biodiversity, I think now in 2020, and then we have been wonderfully, we have been doing in India. Only thing still we have been working on that. Every year we have been trying hard to bring 2% at least the forest, through the reforestation or afforestation or the social forestation or any other source of the forestation. And not only that, and also conserving the animal biodiversity resources. So to conclude that, the flocks of birds have flown away. Your solitary coot too has drifted away. And I wander alone in the silent Western Ghats surround to catch a glimpse of the ancient ecosystem somewhere around. So with this short of the discussion related to the biodiversity, conserve our biodiversity resources. Everyone should have a knowledge, and that we should have a ethics to conserve our resources. Thank you for the patient hearing. At the outset, I would like to thank the Institution of the Engineers India, Tamil Nadu chapter, and then Madurai chapter for giving me this opportunity to share some of the issues, the problems, action plans which are in focus in the biodiversity. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anandal. Thank you for hearing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor, sir. I think you are given the excellent and then very informative today, the lecture, this thing. We got a lot of things. Now only we know about all the for forest and other biodiversity. So thanks, sir. I think anybody have any questions? We can.
Good evening. I am Salem, immediate past chairman.
Yes, sir. Tell me,
sir.
sir.
Are you hearing?
Yes, sir. Please,
I am Salem from. Yes, I am Salem from Trichinopoli local center, immediate past chairman.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell about the Amazon forest fire and whatever you told about
Yes,
India?
sir.
Okay, I observed that we will do for that. What
Yes,
for
sir.
that? Amazon forest, you say something is going on. That is forest depletion and the fire.
Yes.
Can you
Yes,
tell
yes,
few
sir.
things about this?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
please,
sir.
sir.
Sir, forest fire is, again, I'm telling you, whether it is in Amazon forest or in Indian forest, either Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, again, it is mainly by the human action. It's only by the human. It's mainly with human. And during the deforestation, they used to do either for many aspects, either for clearing of the forest for the monoculture plantation, or for the cultivating of the local, or cultivating of the agricultural sources, or anything for want of their need. they used to fire the forest during the summer seasons, and this will be, I think, is the menace to the entire forest. And a lot of the thick forest, we can say that we used to say that the climax of the whole forest is lot of the things will be, I mean, almost needed, and most likely, and due to the forest fire, the carbon dioxide, I'm telling you, the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide will release a lot during the forest fire. I will tell you the example of that during the, again, the area periods, we have that only, say, I mean, 270 ppm of the carbon dioxide late after of this forest fire and etc., and which leads to a lot of the increase of the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. We can say that the carbon, the greenhouse gases, which are emitting a lot in terms of the composition from the Amazon forest, and it won't affect normally of their own habitat, and also it will spread to other countries because of the wind action. And even I can say that the forest fire in Indonesia and near to that area, which has impact to the region of our Indian context. So these are the problem of the wildlife, and I think it's a very serious step to avoid the forest fires. So again, the carbon dioxide is a major in part of the forest fire, which leads to the, I mean, not only that, in addition to this, a series of the problem, it affects the structure and functions of the entire forest ecosystem. It affects the species survival, existence, and then sometimes may also leads to the invasion of the weed species also. Some of the weeds also later come inside the forest, and this may also have a disturbance in the original forest. So a lot of the ecological consequences are there in the forest fire, sir. It's a good question, sir.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Sir, Professor, sir, kindly switch off your sharing the screen, sir.
Screen close. Screen close only.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me, sir. Please, sir.
one of the participants asked us, is there any mechanism to stop this locust attack on our plants?
Locust, sir. See, I think this is one of the exotic species.
Yes.
Is not indigenous. We have also more than 250 locust, I mean, similar species in our India. That I think is not affecting because it's part and part of the ecosystem. We have that. And this is the one species which have been, I mean, exotic way it came through inside. I think the clear of this is very difficult. I'm saying is very difficult because it has a huge in terms of the reproducing capacity, and it will spread like anything and it will multiply anything. And I think surely it will occupy and invade like any other species in India. I think we have to take a very serious steps for that. But the steps, I think if you use this pesticide and chemicals, it has a serious problem to the ecosystem. It's very serious. I think biologically we have to find any other solution to combat the locust. I mean, with reference to that, I'm giving you another example, the chance we are going to have a separate webinar for the locust in the next week. Only for the
participant, yes, Murugan asked that question, sir.
Yeah, locust and and we are going to have a locust with reference to the COVID. We are going to both are now a serious threat to the Indian subcontinent.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Karthikeyan from Tyagarajar Polytechnic.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Sir, very fine. After a long time, very happy to see
you.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு ப்ரோ சான்சலர் அவங்கள பாக்குறதுக்கு.
Yes, sir. You speak in English, sir, because many people are there in south, north, sir.
That is true.
Sir, yes. Nice, sir. Already our friend of engineer, chief engineer has mentioned you, sir. He's a good friend of Ramdas, sir. He mentioned about you. And I think both of you are friends already.
So that's why I asked my staff member to attend the program. Some 33 staff members are attended the program.
Very nice, sir. From Salem?
Very good information.
Where Salem, sir?
Yeah, Salem.
Oh, sir. Very good. Very nice, sir.
Sona College.
Yeah, Sona College, I know.
Very happy, sir. Good
Thank you,
information,
sir.
sir.
Thank
It's a
you,
good
sir.
informative also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, any other questions from anybody?
Sir, one question I can ask here.
Yes, sir.
For the greenhouse gases,
Yes, sir.
there is a more chances of developing more liberation of carbon dioxide, CO2.
Yes, sir.
Because of the CO2, we are getting the greenhouse gas effect. Can you reduce the impact of CO2, or can we catch the CO2 and push into the ground?
Sir, there is one the technology they developed. Even I too have proposed in 2010, where we can have one we called as the tree, a tree. I mean, we can artificial tree. We can develop like the light system where we have in the common places. Similarly, we can make a tower like that. The tower can be used as a trapping of all the carbon dioxide by the chemical reaction of the potassium hydroxide, and this can have the ability to absorb the carbon dioxide and will make it mixed with the carbon dioxide, and it will form later as a solution, and then it can be even earthed into the even you can deep into the earth of 1 kilometer. We can pass it. This is one way, and another way I think the trapping is the natural way is only the plants, because now I think in our research also in Madurai Kamaraj University we have identified more than 20 species of our tropical plants, trees that have the ability to trap more than carrying the capacity of the 400 ppm of the carbon dioxide. And we worked in the greenhouse also, and in the glass house, and then later also we have tested in the various environment. Those species are already there. We can plant those type of trees in the urban areas, and thereby we can reduce the natural trapping agent of the carbon dioxide, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good answer, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Can I have one question, please?
Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Sivasubramanian, ex-scientist from ISRO.
Yes, sir. Yes, I know, sir. From Madurai.
Yeah, Madurai.
Yes, sir. We met you at the Vasan College, sir.
Yes.
I remember, sir.
One thing, one question is, Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee.
Yes, sir. Hello. Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello.
So audio disconnected. Hello. Hello. Not able to hear, sir.
Dr. Kasturi Rangan's committee.
Yes, sir.
On forest conservation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whether the committee report is in action or how it helps the conservation of biodiversity.
Sir, Dr. Kasturi Rangan, my good friend and then my mentor, and with the various levels of our input, he has submitted the report to the central government, sir, and it has not yet been approved in the parliament. Still, I think we need a lot of exercises to be done, and it should be accepted by all the stakeholders of the states. So still it is in the process, sir.
Okay. The second question is already they asked about the. Hello.
Please, sir, tell me, sir.
Second question is already they asked about the locusts. The recent
locust,
attack
sir.
on the locusts.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
there is not a concern for Tamil Nadu, as
Yes,
I could
sir.
see.
Yes.
And because of its insects characters and its behavior,
Yes, sir.
it is not coming inside and affecting Tamil Nadu crops.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what
Yes,
the
sir.
assurance given by you. You support that view, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, definitely, sir. It affects the ecosystem, mainly the agro ecosystem, where most of the crop plants, it is a voracious feeder, sir. That is a problem. It eats more than 20 times of their body weight.
Okay.
That's
Very
more.
good, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm Arun.
Very good
Sir.
presentation on National Environment Day,
Yes, sir.
organized by Institution of Engineers, Madurai local chapter.
Yes, sir.
I thank you very much for your very good, excellent presentation. Thank you,
sir.
Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I am Arul Das.
Yes, sir,
One
please,
question,
sir.
please.
Yes.
I see the excellent presentation. I am a nuclear scientist.
Yes, sir.
Here, one question is, can you throw some lights on corona and the biodiversity?
Yes, sir. See, there are two school of thoughts, sir. One school of thought saying that because of the corona effect, now we could be able to protect the forest because we have not not allowed the human interference inside the forest. That's why in Nilgiris, even we can see in Kunnur and other areas, most of the wild, the deer and all, they came to the main road in the national highway of the area between the Kunnur and the Ooty. So I think now the species have been very easily, we can move on that also we could find. So that means it is the COVID situation has been, is a favor and conducive to the free movement of the animals inside, and then also lesser interference in the forest area. One way, like I said, but its impact is only we have studied only in 2 months, 3 months, only not more than 3 months. Only we have, realized the situation from March onwards, March, April, May, only 3 months. I think this is only, even within the 3 months, we could see that the disturbance, the lot of the improvement in the conservation issue. And another one with related to the disease is the animals, because either way that we can see it's a food chain. Either way we can pass, the coronavirus can pass from either to animals to plants, or the human, or through the human to the animal. Either way we can be transmitted, and this have a very serious problem. Once it, intrude in the forest, that means the whole the forest area, the wildlife will be a serious problem. So that I think we have to take very serious issue related to this. Even very recently in the Delhi, last week, I think we have seen in the media also, one of the monkey who entered into the laboratory and he took away the samples of the virus. And samples. No, he took away the samples, and the scientists who are working on that, they were running behind the monkey to get all the samples of the coronavirus. So once either it touches or even it's swallowed because of the tasty or anything, it may have a serious impact in the whole system of the population of the wild. So either way, it has to serious in the things. But anyhow, we have to study in detail about the biodiversity issues related to the coronavirus, the invasion, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Really,
Yes.
your presentation made us fundamentally rethink
Yes.
our relationship with the living world, with the natural ecosystem.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, anybody, sir?
Dr. Chelian, I am Rajagopal. It's not a question, but it's only a suggestion.
Please, sir.
It's a very good topic you have covered today. It's very interesting also.
I have been talking from 30 years onwards, sir.
It should go to the public.
We are doing, sir. We are doing. And that's why I told you, even we went up to the tribal level. We went. And in fact, one of the aspect is the social livelihood and the biodiversity. So under that plan we did. Even the Tamil Nadu state government has, we call the Tamil Nadu Afforestation Program. One of the mandate and main objective of the Tamil Nadu Afforestation Program is the conservation of the biodiversity resources, and people who are living in and around the forest area, they have given the opportunity for the alternative steps. For that phenomena, I think we have taken part in the afforestation program, and we did lot of work. And then also, in fact, I have studied a lot of the villages with reference to the biodiversity related program, and we submitted our report to the government of India and then also the government of Tamil Nadu. We have done a lot of work, sir.
I request you.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
I suggest that you give a suggestion to the government of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, sir.
Regarding the Land Sealing Act. The plantations are exempted from land sealing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whereas in the plains, you cannot have more
Yes, sir.
lands than one individual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From the Western Ghats,
Yes, sir.
lot of roads are there about 10 kilometers away. For example, from Rajapalayam to Kutralam, like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can identify those roads.
Okay, sir.
And between the hills and this road,
Okay, sir.
if they plant the trees,
Yes, sir.
like coconut, mango, whatever it is,
Yes, sir.
plantation trees,
Yes, sir.
it should be exempted from the Land Ceiling Act.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So many people will come forward to plant the trees in those areas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. I think good. It's a good suggestion, sir. We can propose.
Okay, sir. But you can propose to the government of Tamil Nadu, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
I am Asha from Madurai.
Yes, madam.
So I have a very small question.
Yeah, please.
What is the impact of GMOs on
Yes.
biodiversity as a whole, not only for the plants or animals or microbes? What will be the impact of these GMOs on biodiversity?
Madam, what we normally we used to propose that the system or the ecosystem we call should not disrupt anyway. The originality of the species existence should be protected. I think it should be there in any type, whether it is a tropical forest, inside the tropical forest, whether you know the temperate, any of the altitude forest or the moist level and the moist forest, etc. And wherever they know, the originality should be maintained. Once you go for altering the technology with the help of the technology or biotechnological tool, you are interfering the normal way. You are interfering the normal existence of the species. Once the foreign species like locust, what do you examine? No, once you enter into the forest area or the agroecosystem area or anyway of this introduction of the genetically modified trees or plants or the animals or the microorganisms, we have a series of impacts. It affects the biodiversity, number one, the number of the species, and then their abundance, etc., etc. Even the biodiversity index will change. The biodiversity index will change. And then soil composition. It may have a series of impacts with the microorganisms. That means the beneficial microorganisms. For example, rhizobium, azospirillum. So these are some of the microorganisms, Astobacter. These are the beneficial microorganisms which are already in the land area. Once a species comes exotic, then it may affect their host specificity. That will not infect. And it will have a lot of problems for the existence of the microorganisms, which are also benefits to the croplands. So normally, as I am an environmentalist, I used to say that always no to GMO. No to GMO. Even though it has a tremendous protection of the tonnage or the yield and etc. But normally I used to say that no for the GMO in our Indian context.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful explanation.
Yes.
But as a continuation of it, sir, we are prone to these GMOs nowadays, like golden rice and BT cotton and all that.
Yes.
What action can be taken from the environmentalist side to stop this transgenic plants and animal production in the society, or experimenting them in the field?
Madam, I'm telling you still, our Indian government, okay, whoever comes in the prime ministership, we are not yet decided the policy. We are not yet decided the policy of the introduction of this GMO in the Indian soil. I think we heard enough only with the example of our cotton. That's all. We are not introduced. Okay. So I think this policy is still in focus, in action. So we are not testing, and we are not doing any experiments also. So this is again we have to go for ethical clearance from the government of India, and then again with the NBA,
Yes.
National Biodiversity Authority of India.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? So, Narayan Swami?
Yeah.
You unmute your this thing. And then, thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent and
Thank you.
more interactive also. Now the Narayan Swami will give the vote of thanks.
Respected Chairman, Tamil Nadu Chairman, respected Madurai Local Center Chairman Sir Rajagopal sir, Tamil Nadu State Center Chairman Hamda sir, Council Member Dr. Rajamani sir, and our Chief Guest, today's our Chief Guest, Professor Dr K MUTHUCHELIAN sir. Sir, regarding our today lecture meeting, the biodiversity, it's a wonderful one, and it is very useful to the not only in the Tamil Nadu, to the nation as well as the world also, sir. What are the participants? They asked the question. You are given the truthful as well as the good answers for them, sir. They satisfied on that level. On behalf of the Tamil Nadu State Center as well as the Madurai Local Center, I thank to everyone who has participated, and especially for our Chief Guest, Professor Dr. K MUTHUCHELIAN, who has really a good lecture for that. Very thankful, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks also goes to the Institute of Engineers, especially Dr. Engineer Ramdas sir, and Gomendranayam sir, Rajagopal sir, Narayan Swami sir, and my beloved brother Rajamani sir, and all those who have a technical team who involved in the preparation of the webinar link and etc. So my heartfelt thanks to go all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Varunda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Professor sir, one small this thing, entire meeting is recorded and then it's already live in the YouTube channel.
Oh,
fine.
thank you.
We
thank
have
you.
IEI Tamil Nadu State Center YouTube channel is there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Already live in the YouTube channel.
very
Now
good.
recorded version also we have. I think we shortly we're going to.
Yeah, please, sir, please share me.
Thank you.
Okay,
Please
sir.
share me. I
Definitely
have
will
also
send
my,
you.
please share me. I have also my own, YouTube channel. There I will put it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Acknowledging you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.